Hey folks, welcome to another video here on the 67 Stang channel. First, I'm sorry it's been a little bit since I've had one up. Things have been busy with life and whatnot, so they're only going to get busier. I've got a lot of conferences coming up and all that, so expect the number of videos I'm able to get out to go down. I'm sorry about that. Not a lot I can do about it. Also sorry about the bird chirping outside. If you can hear that, I'm sure you can. But it's been a very rainy day and whatnot. So what have we got in store for you here? Well, let's get in and talk about that in just a second. Okay folks, well, we're here. So what do I want to do now? Well, we've got the weather stripping done on the driver's side. We've gotten all the weather stripping done on the vent window, the roof rail, in the door itself, around the door, the back window here. So we've got all that done. So now it's time to button up the door. So we're going to replace the old weather shield paper thing that was on here before with one of our brandy new ones here. So we're going to do that. I've been having these lay out to get flat, so they're much better. So we're really going to focus on that, putting in our new door panel and all that stuff today. But before I get into that, today is a special anniversary for me, not a wedding anniversary, but 2 years ago today. And today is September 17th, the day I'm recording this. And on this day 2 years ago, my mother passed away. For you, those of y'all that have been following the channel and watching a lot of the videos, you'll know that she and my dad are the original owners of this car. And they bought it brand new in March of '67 up in Beaufort, Georgia. That's just north of Atlanta. And she was a big supporter of me getting this car back up and running, and even to the point that after she passed, she left some specific things in her will to buy a whole bunch of parts I needed. So the wire harness, suspension parts, exhaust parts, and all of that to get it up and running. I will forever be eternally grateful to her for that and so much more that she gave me throughout my life. And so, Mom, I just want to say thank you, and I miss you so very much. And it just so happens I start talking about her and it starts raining. So, well, maybe the world misses her too. She was a pretty amazing lady. So with that, guys, let's get back into a happy note, bring you in here and kind of talk about what we need to do to get this door buttoned up. Okay, so to put this in to seal the door up, a couple things we need to do. So first, what I've done is, now I'll insert a picture of what the passenger door looks like because I haven't cleaned it up yet. But the first thing I did is I went through this door and I removed all of the putty-like sticky substance that had been used to hold that old piece of paper on, the old seal that was here. So I've cleaned all of that up, and it follows along. You've got these, it's like this groove right here is where it was up. Then it was up on this piece and up in through here, and then it was following this groove back down around here, and it was piled up around the window crank mechanism and the door latch. There's a big glob of it there and whatnot. So I cleaned all of that up. I just used a scraper, a combination of a scraper, the plastic one I used to take the door panel off, and then a screwdriver, and they came back with some, I used some degreaser type general purpose cleaner and just went through here, and also used a wire brush to just scrape and get most of that off. Is it 100% off? No, there's still some in there, but I got most of it off. Now I'm gonna come back in and put back in that same kind of location the strip caulk that I got. You may remember from CJ Pony Parts where I got the duplicated order or whatever. Still haven't destroyed those things. Anyway, so put that on, and then that should allow me to put the paper seal back. Now, another couple things I do. One, I need to check the holes on the paper because I've got a couple of things that have to come through. One, I'm gonna have to put my remote mirror back on before I do all this and get it fed out through the proper hole, which I think is this one right over here, for where that needs to go. Because once I put that in place, it's going to be very hard to feed that back through without taking the paper off again. Next, I want to make sure all the holes for the various clips, obviously for the door and window regulator to come through. And then I've got the armrest as well. So where this goes, I need to make sure I have holes set up for this because I don't know that every car had armrest, and I've got a position for an armrest here. It looks like a position here. Now, I don't know this, but if I had the deluxe interior, maybe they would go here, but here, anyway, these are where those go. I've also gone ahead and mounted in these clips. I got some new clips to replace the old ones, just because, why not? They're here, they're cheap. The other ones were in okay shape, but figured might as well get some new ones. So with that, next step, I'm going to go ahead and get my remote mirror installed, and then we'll check the paper. And all I'm going to do, I'll try to film this and show it, but lay the old one on top of the new one and see if all the holes line up. So we'll check that first. So let's get on getting the mirror installed. I'm not going to really show you all that. It's a mirror, it's not hard. Anyway, and then we'll check the paper fitting and go from there. So let's get this going. Okay, so the rain stopped. I've got the mirror put on the door now, so I'm going to compare this original shield, weather protect, I don't know what you call this thing. Honestly, I don't remember. With this one, which is the new one. So I'm going to look at the various holes for the clips, the holes here for the armrest, hole for the mirror, remote mirror, and any other holes, see if they are missing. So I'm going to line these up. Any that are apparently missing, I'm going to mark with a silver Sharpie once I get it. I forgot it. Okay, so gonna get things lined up. Now I'm putting the new one under the old one because the old one still has some of that sticky goop on it. And I want to see how well things line up, and we're about to get an Amazon delivery, so I want to come back to y'all after that. Okay, let's see. We got. Try to line this up as best I can. Okay, so that lines up. Those line up. So top here. And it looks like that's lining up. Okay. Let's see what else is not lining up here. So there's the holes for the armrest, but it looks like everything else, all the other holes are lining up pretty good. It's hard to tell because this thing's pretty shredded, but I think we got it, all the other holes. So the only ones that appear to be missing is the armrest. So good. So I only have to account for those. So I'm going to cut those out, and then we'll go put the strip caulk on the door and work on getting this one in place. So just got to cut out the old one. That's where those holes were for the armrests, so I can account for that. And we'll be able to put this on. Okay folks, I think we're about ready. I've got the strip caulk put on, and for anybody that hasn't seen this stuff, this is what I'm using, the 3M strip caulk black. I apologize for the rattling noise. Somebody decided to do their wash while I was down here. So it comes in multiple tiers, but it looks like, hopefully you can see all that, just individual strips. It's black, it's squishy. It's what people have told me they use, Jeff Ford and some others, Barry on Joe Daddy's Garage, I think. But anyway, I've got it on here now. Now the stuff that was originally used on here spread out a good bit more. I think it wasn't quite the same thing, but this serves the same purpose. The directions here say 3M strip caulk is designed as a solid form caulk that remains pliable and soft, conforming to the shapes of surfaces requiring sealing from the elements. Metal surfaces should be painted, and all surfaces must be cleaned and dry before applying. Cut the bead to desired length and press into place. Remove excess to the putty knife, so forth, so on. So I put it all around. Basically, I tried to follow the pattern that I saw on the passenger's door. I don't know if they had any real rhyme or reason how they did this stuff originally, but this is how I'm doing it. Okay, so move that away. So I've got my weather shield, door shield, whatever. I test fitted this several times. The holes don't perfectly line up with the door from what I can tell, but I don't know that that's unusual. So we're going to go put it in here, try to match it up as best we can, and see how it goes. So feed it over the remote mirror and start lining this up as best I can. A second. So the key things I want to get lined up are obviously the door and window actuators, the armrest supports in here, and then I'm going to start working it around and squishing it down in place where it needs to be to help get it as close to where I want it as I can. And one thing I brought to help with that is the same thing I used when I put in that sound deadener. Help kind of squish stuff down where it needs to go. Keep looking over at the passenger door to see references. Okay, so I'm going to keep working this thing around. You kind of get the idea what I'm doing. Key here, make sure that the brown side goes out, the black side goes in. The idea is the weather is going to be coming in from the outside of the door, and we don't want it to get inside of the car. So I'm going to keep working this around, and once we get it in place, I'll come back and show it to you. Okay, so I got it on. It's not, 100% perfect, but then as I recall, the original wasn't 100% perfect. You can see some of these lower holes down here don't line up really well, but especially as we move over there. But again, I don't think on the original that they did either, which is what I was using as a template. Let's just go look and see. Since I've got the original, and if we orient this the right way, here we go. So you've got this oriented the right way, so that's where the remote mirror thing comes out. There is the window, there's the door, there's the armrest. So you can kind of see some of these holes. Obviously some of them are ripped, but some of them are pulled out too. So yeah, I don't think this fit perfectly either, but having one that's not so ripped and falling apart is better than nothing. So next it's time to work on getting the actual door panel put on there, and so I've got new ones of those. So we will I need to see how long this is to see if this is going to be it, or if I'm going to get to put the door panel on in this video. I'm going to try. We'll see. It's kind of late too. So anyway, let me go get the new one out and we'll compare it to the old one, either here or in the next video. We'll see. Okay guys, so now that we've got that the weather shield, water whatever that's called, paper on the door, ready to look at getting the actual door pad. So I've got this one. This is the new one that I've got. Here's the original one that I have. Now the original is not in super bad shape. Big difference you'll notice is the chrome strip here. It runs around is not, well, on this one the chrome's gone. On this one obviously new, the chrome is there. Couple other things we'll notice. I'm going to kind of flip these around so we can hopefully see it better. So a couple things you should notice immediately is that the hole for the armrest is not on through here. The hole up here for the remote mirror is not there. So I've got to get those cut in. Or drilled in or punched in. Now I will say, as I flip this around and look at the back side now. Now this is where the original starts to show problems, especially on the bottom here. If you can see that, let me check. Yeah, you can kind of see it. But here this backing is just cardboard. I've already glued that one once. This one's pulled through. That one's pulled through. You can see the damage in here. So that's why I got the new one. I'm going to keep the original just in case. But by having it flipped here, we do have the holes for the door in the window actuator. They've actually, in the cardboard, cut the holes for the armrest. What I don't have, though, is the actual hole. So I'm going to try to cut that through as well. And then up here is where that hole goes for the remote mirror. So that's not there. I see what looks like maybe a faint impression of a cutout for that. So what I'll do is, just like I did on the paper, I'm going to kind of draw that on. One thing I'm not sure exactly. Yep, okay, so notice there's a notch here. This is because there is a washer that goes on the back side of this that has a little tang that goes down into that, and that notch helps hold this from rotating around, so I can position the mirror so when I move the little joystick on the remote mirror, it actually goes the way it's supposed to. So that I'm gonna have to do that there. So like I said, let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna lay this on top of here. Try to line up things as best I can. And then I'm gonna go get my silver Sharpie. We'll mark the hole for this. I'll go ahead and mark the holes. Now it's hard because these have been pushed out, but mark the holes for that. Again, let's make sure we get this lined up. Hood of the car may not be the best place to do this because it's not flat, obviously. It's got some curvature to it, but those holes seem to line up pretty well. Okay, so go ahead. Like that. Go ahead and kind of mark where that is and where that is. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out this hole here and maybe try to push through some holes there. Get the armrests in. Okay, let's see how this goes, shall we? I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to do this off camera, so I'm going to get these holes done off camera and then we'll come back. So I'm trying to figure out the orientation for this, the control for the remote mirror, right? The thing that makes it move up and down and around. Now, on the original door panel, the tab that matched the washer that goes on this was pointing down. As I'm verifying, yes, pointing down. Now, what I've found, to me anyway, what makes sense is this actually needs to be oriented, at least on this one. And this is a new unit. I got this a couple of years ago, year and a half ago, whatever, because the old one was very pitted and all that. So I still have the original one, but when I put the new one on, I noticed when I was trying to position the mirror that the control wasn't really moving it the way I expected it to. What I'm figuring out here is that if I want this to work the way I think it should, which is mean when I push it up, it actually, flips the mirror so it, I'm sorry, let me get this flipped the way I think so, right? So I push it down, it points down. When I push it up, the mirror angles up. When I go to, the front part of the car, the mirror kicks in, facing more towards the car. When I push it that way, it pushes away from the car. That makes sense to me. So what it looks like is this thing actually needs to be sideways. So I just was checking that out so that I knew which way I needed to orient this thing when I put it on. So I want looks like the small side. So it's got a big flat spot here. Don't know if you can see that. And then a tab up here. It looks like the smaller tab I want facing the front of the car and the bigger flat spot facing the rear of the car. That seems to make it perform the way I would expect it to. So that's the way I'm going to orient this thing and hope I get it right. If I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong. But that's with the remote mirror. Now, if you don't have the remote mirror, this is an issue. You don't have to worry about this. But I've already got the hole cut that this passes through. So my next step is to get the clips on the new panel. And then I'm going to start putting it in here and see how it goes from there. So almost ready to put the door panel in. Just got to put all the clips in. Whoops, hit the tear. So let me put the clips on the panel and then we'll bring you back and start putting this on and see how it goes. Okay guys, I hope you can see things good down here. Anyway, I think I'm ready to put the pad or door card on here. I've got a couple of tools just in case, a screwdriver to help pry if needed to get things into the holes, a rubber mallet to help hammer it in if I need to. I don't know that I'm going to need those, but better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So Pull the pad out and you see I've got the clips on there. What I think I'm going to do is kind of start in the back here and work my way forward on this. Here, got two started there. Let's see what we're doing. There we go. Okay, there's that one. In there. Okay, now I've got a few of these started. I'm going to go ahead and feed this through where the remote mirror goes and put the washer on there. Here, and then try to get some of these other ones. So this washer, if you can see it, has a little lip on it. And then it's got this little tab. So you may remember on here that, again, big flat side, little tab. So the little tab is that one. Big flat side is that one. So if I remember why I wanted this set up correctly was with the little tab going to the back and the big tab going to, or the big flat spot going to the front. So that means that goes in. This tab or raised part of this washer kind of grabs into the cardboard backing of the door card. Okay. And okay, so a couple things I need before I continue with that is the outer piece that screws on. And then that, let's see if we can do this. Okay, so I have to cut more of that leather out of there, or vinyl. Which means I got to pull this back off to do that. I thought I could just, it would stick through far enough. Like I said, I can get it without that washer. It comes right through. And then anyway, I hoped that, okay, that's, I gotta just cut that out. There's just no way around that, so let's pull this back out and I'll get to that. So anyway, you don't need to see this. Okay guys, so we got her on there. I had problems with the clip right up here. I don't know why it wasn't going in, but I took care of that. Got the mirror in, so it's working as expected, so yay there. So I think she looks pretty good. So now it's time to get the armrest on. So what I'm gonna do, I need to figure out where the holes are. So what I'm gonna do is get an awl, I think, and try to find where the hole is. It should go there. And then we can put the armrest on. So I'm gonna go get my awl because I don't see it in the car. But I do have the armrest, right? So we know the armrest is going to go right in. Oh, it actually has bolts still in it. So we know the armrest is going to go right in there, and that'll look really nice. Get the fixtures on here. But anyway, let me get the awl, try to figure out where those holes are, so I can get those punched, and then we can get this put on. Okie doke, here we go. Let's see if we can find where. Okay, I got that one there. Want to do, get this out here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, I got the holes I'm going to run, I'm going to actually get the new ones. Run the screws up and down in there a few times to dig that out, and then we'll bolt that buddy on there. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's do the same thing on this side. Now, this is where the okay. right in. That one's going in. Pick this up. Okay. And don't need to torque the heck out of these, right? It's really just for pulling the door closed and laying your arm on, so not under a lot of stress. Yay. That's done. Now, go back, get the hardware to put the window crank on and the door pull on. And then I'll be back. Okay, so we're ready to go. So we got our door opener, which goes here. I'll make sure I put the plastic washer that goes there on. And then fit this on. We'll put our screw in. Take our Phillips head screwdriver and run that in. Okay. Door latch works. Now we got to put our window cranky thing on. And one window cranky thing, and somewhere down below me I thought I had. I did. I sat on it, of course. Another one of these plastic washers. So we're going to put it on. Somebody is leaving. That's the noise you hear. So with that, window rolls up and the window rolls down. Yay! We have successfully redone the door. We've redone all the weather stripping here. We put on a new door pad here. We've reused our existing armrest here. So I think we've done a pretty dang good job. Like I said, nothing is perfect here, but it is better. And we're not going for perfection. We're going for, let's get it as a nice weekend driver kind of car. So I'm pretty stoked. So with that, we're going to call this a video. I think this has been a good one. Really taking this door through from start to finish on the weather stripping and all that with, well, the passenger door. I've got to do all this stuff to the passenger door, but that's going to be easier if I flip the car around. So I may have a couple other smaller projects I want to do on the car. I'm working on the squirters for the windshield. I've got a new hose kit, some connectors, and all from there. I've actually already started putting that on. I need to run the things to the firewall. I've got that reservoir for the radiator that I need to install. I really need to get a new radiator too. To be honest, it was leaking when I first got it running back over 2.5 years ago now. So I need to fix that. But that's later down the road. So that, guys, again, if you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Give me a reason why you liked it, why you didn't like it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to be kept up to date, and hit that notification bell so you'll know when I do post a new video. Do want to remind everybody that videos are going to be few and far between because I'm starting to get into conference season, and now they're having in-person conferences once again. So I'm going to be doing a good bit of traveling. Plus, I'll be going to Disney with my wife to celebrate our anniversary belatedly. As y'all remember in a previous video, we celebrated 30 years of wedded bliss. So we're going to go have some fun down in Disney, one of her favorite places there. So that, guys, look forward to seeing y'all in that next video. Thanks.